Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to peek behind the curtain into a tiny hidden kingdom that, believe it or not, has a huge impact on our world. We're talking about the honeybee, but not just as some bug buzzing around. We're going to explore one of the most complex and frankly amazing societies on the entire planet.
Everything, and I mean everything, starts with this one simple fact. The honeybee is a social insect. They don't go it alone. They live and work together in a colony, which is basically a buzzing city where every single bee has a job to do, all for the good of the group.
So, that's the real question, right? How does a society like this even function? Who's in charge? How do they all know what to do? And what can their tiny world teach us about our own? Okay, let's get into it.
To really get your head around the beehive, you gotta stop thinking about thousands of individual bees. The trick is to see the whole colony as a single living thing, what scientists call a superorganism. It's like each bee is just one cell in a much larger body, all working together as one.
And you know, our fascination with this superorganism is nothing new. For thousands of years, people have been practicing what's called apiculture. You probably know it as beekeeping. It's more than just getting honey. It's a real partnership between our world and theirs. So to understand how these bees do their jobs, you have to look at their toolkit, their body. It's an absolute marvel of engineering. Up front, you've got the head, the command center, packed with antennae and those amazing eyes. The middle section, the thorax, that's the engine room. It powers the wings and legs. And then you have the abdomen, which is kind of like an all-in-one utility belt, handling digestion, making wax, and of course, housing that famous stinger. Now, inside this superorganism, it's like a play with three main characters, or casts. Each one is literally born for a specific job. It's a society of true specialists. So let's meet the cast. Okay, so check this out. This chart lays out the whole system perfectly. You've got one queen. She's the mother of literally everyone in the hive. Then you have the male drones. Their one and only job is to mate. And then you have the worker bees. Thousands of sterile females who are the absolute backbone of the colony. They do everything else. And look at the genetics here. The drones have only half the number of chromosomes. That's not a mistake. It's a brilliant evolutionary trick, and we'll see why in just a sec. And when we say the queen's job is laying eggs, the sheer scale of it is just mind-blowing. She is an egg-laying machine. Get this, a queen can lay up to 3,000 eggs in one day. That's often more than her own body weight. It's how she keeps the colony constantly supplied with new members. So, back to that chromosome thing. How do you get male drones with only half the DNA? It happens through a biological wonder called parthenogenesis. Basically, the queen can decide to lay an egg without fertilizing it. That unfertilized egg will grow up to be a male drone. And here's the genius part. It's all about managing resources. Drones are only needed to mate. By creating them this way, the queen doesn't waste any of the limited sperm she has stored for creating female workers, ensuring the colony's future.
You know, every single bee in that hive, whether it's the queen, a drone, or a worker, starts out exactly the same, as a tiny little egg. And the journey from that egg to a full-grown bee is an incredible transformation.
This whole process has a name, complete metamorphosis. And it's not just about getting bigger. Nope. It's a total reinvention of the body, changing from a simple little grub into the complex flying insect we all recognize.
And here are the 4 stages of that journey. It starts with the egg, which hatches in just 3 days. Out comes the larva, which is basically just a tiny white eating machine. Seriously, all it does is eat. Once it's big enough, the worker bees cap its cell with wax, and it enters the pupa stage. This is where the magic happens. Inside that sealed cell, it completely reorganizes its body. And finally, out comes a fully formed adult bee ready for work. So here's a puzzle. If all the female bees come from the exact same kind of egg, what makes one of them turn into a queen? The answer is incredibly simple. It's what she eats. It all comes down to the diet. For the first few days, all larvae get a taste of this superfood called royal jelly. But only a chosen few get to eat only royal jelly. That exclusive diet is what triggers the change, turning a regular larva into royalty. All right, so we've looked deep inside the hive. Now it's time to zoom way out. Because what happens in this tiny superorganism has a massive, and I mean massive, impact on our world. This chart really puts it into perspective. Look at agriculture. Bees are responsible for pollinating something like 80% of all flowering plants.
To put it another way, they're responsible for about 1 out of every 3 bites of food that we eat. Economically, they're powerhouses, creating products that support entire industries. And for the planet's ecosystem, their role is absolutely critical. They maintain the biodiversity that keeps the whole system running.
And of course, let's not forget the amazing stuff we get directly from the hive. You've got honey, which is both a delicious food and a natural medicine. There's beeswax, used in everything from candles to lipstick. And then there's that precious royal jelly, the same stuff that makes queens, which is being studied for all kinds of health benefits. But, maybe the most important thing we get from bees isn't something we can hold. It's a lesson. Their social harmony, their incredible work discipline, their total dedication to the group. It's a powerful reminder of what's possible when everyone works together for a common goal. And that leaves us with one last, pretty heavy thought. After seeing everything they do for our food, our economy, and our planet, just try to imagine it. What would a world without bees actually look like? It's a sobering question, and it really shows just how much our own world relies on the hard work happening inside this hidden kingdom.